Ireland's bogs may appear empty and silent, but beneath their surface lies one of the greatest archives of the ancient world. Wooden roads, enormous deposits of butter, and even human remains have survived where almost everything should have disappeared. Together, they offer glimpses of engineering, food production, belief, status, and death in ancient Ireland. So why do Irish bogs preserve the past so well? And what did ancient people deliberately place inside them? A peat bog is waterlogged, acidic, and extremely low in oxygen. The bacteria and fungi that normally break down organic materials struggle to survive there. As layers of peat accumulate, buried objects can be sealed away from the air. Wood, leather, food, and sometimes human tissue may survive for centuries or even millennia. Preservation inside a bog is complicated. Acids can damage bone while preserving skin, and an object that survives underground may deteriorate once exposed. That is why archaeological finds require careful conservation. One of Ireland's strangest bog discoveries looks like a lump of wax. It is known as bog butter. Large deposits have been found inside carved wooden vessels and barrels. Others were wrapped in bark, leather, or animal membranes before being lowered into the peat. Scientific analysis confirmed that the Irish examples were made from dairy fat. Radiocarbon dating revealed something even more extraordinary. People followed this practice for thousands of years, from the Bronze Age into the early modern period. The obvious explanation is preservation. Butter was valuable, seasonal, and difficult to keep without refrigeration. The cold, oxygen-poor bog could act as a natural storage place, slowing decay while protecting the contents from animals, or perhaps from thieves. But archaeology rarely gives us one simple answer. Some deposits were exceptionally large. Others were carefully packaged and placed in locations that may have carried ritual importance. Butter represented wealth, labour, and the productivity of cattle, so it may sometimes have been offered rather than stored. Perhaps certain deposits were intended for recovery and others were not. A tradition lasting thousands of years need not have had the same meaning in every period. Bog butter therefore leaves us with an honest mystery. Food store, hidden wealth, ritual offering, or different combinations of all three. Ireland's bogs also preserved evidence of a far greater engineering achievement. Near Keenach in County Longford lies the Corlea Trackway, one of the most remarkable wooden roads discovered in Europe. It was constructed from massive oak planks laid across supporting rails of birch. This was not a casual footpath made from branches. It was a major project requiring skilled woodworking, the felling and transport of large trees, and the coordinated labour of many people. Tree ring dating provided an astonishingly precise date. The oak used in its construction was felled in 148 BC, during Ireland's Iron Age. Why would a community invest so much effort in building across an unstable bog? The trackway may have allowed people, animals, or vessels to cross different wetlands. Yet its scale has encouraged another possibility. Heritage Ireland suggests that it may have formed part of an important or ceremonial route between the hill of Uisneach, a major ritual centre, and Rathcroghan, the ancient royal city site in Connacht. We cannot prove that interpretation, but roads could connect communities, rulers, and sacred landscapes as well as physical destinations. Whatever its purpose, the Corlea roadway did not remain unusable for long. The heavy timber sank into the soft peat and disappeared. What looked like a failure became the reason it survived. Covered by the bog and deprived of oxygen, the oak remained hidden for more than 2,000 years. Today, an 18-metre section is preserved at the Corlea Visitor Centre. The most haunting discoveries from Ireland's bogs, however, are human. In 2003, two sets of ancient remains were discovered at Old Croghan in County Offaly and Cloncavan in County Meath. Scientific examination dated them to roughly the period between 400 and 200 BC. The bog preserve features that ordinary soil would have destroyed, allowing specialists to investigate details of health, diet, appearance, and the circumstances surrounding death. Both individuals had suffered violence. Their injuries, together with the locations in which they were deposited, led researchers to explore connections with power, boundaries, kingship, and sacrifice. One theory proposes that some bog bodies may have been ritual victims connected with kingship or the failure of a ruler. It is a compelling interpretation, but it remains an interpretation, not a proven account of exactly what happened. These were real people, not monsters or museum curiosities. Their remains should be discussed respectfully. Their importance lies in the human connection they provide with people who lived more than 2,000 years ago. The bog preserved evidence, not a written explanation. Archaeologists may distinguish their evidence from the stories constructed around it. This is what makes Ireland's peatlands so important. In ordinary conditions, stone and metal often survive while the softer materials of everyday life disappear. Bogs can reverse that pattern. They preserve timber, containers, food, leather, and human remains, the things capable of bringing the ancient past surprisingly close. But the same landscape is vulnerable. Peat cutting, drainage, and exposure can reveal archaeological material while simultaneously placing it in danger. Ireland's bogs are not empty wastelands. They are cultural landscapes and fragile archives. Beneath them lay food that may have been stored or offered, a roadway created by an organised Iron Age community, and people whose lives and deaths still raise difficult questions. Each discovery gives us part of the story, but never all of it. Perhaps that is why the bog remains so powerful. It preserves the past while refusing to surrender every secret. Which discovery fascinates you most? The ancient butter, the lost wooden road, or the people preserved beneath the peat? Tell us in the comments and subscribe to Ireland Remembered for more stories from Ireland's ancient past.